liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11. Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Booster ignition and liftoff. The crew of Artemis II now bound for the moon. Humanity's next great voyage begins.
I could make a video now about all the anomalies, the green screens, but I'm not going to do that, because I know every single person that is watching this video already knows that. Instead, I will try to look behind the curtain. What seed are they trying to plant inside our brain? Is there a hidden code? Let's put on our decoding glasses. So, let's go.
Who are Artemis and Apollo, the divine twins of Greek mythology? Artemis and Apollo, the twin gods of sun and moon, delves into their powerful roles.
Apollo, the sun god. Artemis, the moon goddess. This brings us to the electromagnetic spectrum. Sun, moon, visible light. This makes Apollo low frequency and Artemis high frequency. This is the Mithras cult. The Mithras cult is the signature of the parasites. Apollo 11 and Artemis 2 can both be read as 11. My guess is that there is some kind of 9/11 code. So 9/11 is false flag.
As you mentioned, that countdown clock is now officially turned on.
There's a very special event in the night sky on April 1st, 2026, the Pink Moon. This magnificent full moon will reach its peak on the night of April 1st and will illuminate the sky all night long.
What sayest thou to me now? Speak once again.
Beware the Ides of March.
The word Ides derives from a Latin word, to divide, and was originally used in the Roman calendar to mark the full moon. The Ides of March marked the first full moon of the Roman year. The Ides of March are linked to the murder of Caesar, the first full moon. You have the fake murder attempt on Trump. In my view, it is linked to the rose moon. You have a link between Mars and Caesar. Trump, the Imperator. The double-headed eagle. You have the globus cruciger and the scepter. Christ with the globus cruciger. Caesar with the scepter. The Caesar and the Christ. When you create a link with Caesar, you have to create a link with the Christ. The Last Supper of Trump. Trump, the Messiah.
And I thought it was me as the doctor, and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support. And only the fake news could come up with that one. So I just heard about it, and I said, how do they come up with that? It's supposed to be me as a doctor making people better, and I do make people better. I make people a lot better.
What I like about AI is you have these nice memes talking about fake Jews. In the anti-Jew propaganda, the Jews are always depicted with this strange nose. It is called the aquiline nose. Now guess who has this aquiline nose? Julius Caesar. Just saying.
Let's break down Orion. At the very top is the launch abort system, a powerful escape rocket designed to pull the crew away in an emergency using abort and attitude control motors. Below that is the crew module, the cone-shaped capsule where astronauts sit during launch and the only part that returns to Earth.
In this logo, you can not only see the V shape of the crater, but also the silhouette of a stone. The capstone is falling from the air, the Benben stone. The Bennu bird, the phoenix. Another name for Orion is Osiris.
Tomorrow, April 6th, is Lunar Flyby Day. They will pass exactly 4,066 miles from the surface of the Moon. Then they will disappear behind it into a total communications blackout. No signal, no telemetry, no voice contact. For 40 minutes, the crew of Integrity is completely alone. For 40 minutes,
Praise be Jesus Christ. Friends, Lent is quickly approaching again. Fasting for 40 days is definitely a challenge. Together, we're going to embrace this challenge of serious fasting so that we can also celebrate together really well our Lord's saving passion and also His glorious resurrection.
His glorious resurrection. 40 days fasting from February 18 until April 4th. April 5, Easter, the resurrection of the Christ.
Tomorrow, April 6th, is Lunar Flyby Day.
So Osiris is 14 minutes away, and then he resurrects on April 6th.
Canopic jars contained the deceased's mummified internal organs, specifically the stomach, lungs, liver, and intestines. These were an essential part of burials in ancient Egypt to ensure a person's successful afterlife. A person would need these organs to live again if the gods judged them as worthy.
I'm Christina Cook. I'm a mission specialist.
I'm Jeremy Hansen. I'm a mission specialist.
I'm Victor Glover. I'm the pilot.
I'm Reed Wiseman. I'm the commander for the Artemis II mission to the moon.
To the moon.
To the moon.
To the moon.
Approximately 1 hour into humanity's first crewed lunar mission in over 50 years, the toilet broke.
They would remove the stomach, the intestines, they would remove the liver, they would remove the lungs, and they would save them, and they would put each of those items in a jar, and that's what these jars were for.
Now what if this whole resurrection story is about reincarnation? After this hell experience, we die. We go to heaven for 40 days, and then we are back. As above, so below. What if the seed of the Benben stone is actually the sperm cell entering the egg? 9 months later,
April 6th is Lunar Flyby Day.
If you add 9 months to April 6th, it gives you January 6th. What's on January 6th? Let me go back to one of my favorite stories. You have 3 knighthoods: Knights Templar, Knights Hospitaller, Teutonic Knights. On top of that you have The Godfather. Situation in 2012. Grandmaster of the Elites, the Queen. Grandmaster of the Priest class, the Pope. Grandmaster of the military, probably George W. Bush I. Now in 2013 they are all being replaced. The Queen by Trump, Bush by Putin, but who replaced the Pope? Let's watch a fragment of my video, The Solomon Nights. Then we have this very strange moment. Benedict is announcing his resignation. And this man supposedly took over. Can a Jesuit become Pope? I think not. I think the papacy was dissolved at the year 2013 with the resignation of Benedict. And this man, just like Charles, is the Pope of an empty box. But who would be the successor of the Pope? Who was in the picture during this crisis? I see 3 candidates: Fauci, Bill Gates or Klaus Schwab. 2013 is also the crowning of the Emir of Qatar, crowning of Willem-Alexander in the Netherlands, King Philip in Belgium. Well, for the moment I will keep it with Klaus Schwab. Take a look at the visits that Trump had in April. Well, remember, you need 3 kings. The first king would be Knights Templar, Trump. Second king, Knights Hospitaller, Wilhelm-Alexander. Third king would be Putin. But Putin sadly couldn't come. Now Putin could be replaced by the Godfather. But because the Godfather has to stay anonymous, he is being replaced by his brother. Now, are these 3 kings paying tribute to the new Osiris? Let's take a closer look at Wilhelm-Alexander, the murderous gang of the Order of the Garter, his mother with the cross of the Knights Hospitaller, his grandfather Prince Bernhard. He was a member of the Nazi party of the SA and an officer in the SS, founding chairman of the Bilderberger meetings. His wife Maxima Zorregieta. Her father was a collaborator with the dictatorship of Videla. So we have a connection between the Netherlands and Argentina. What is the specialty of the chef? Drug trade, indoctrination, human trafficking. Drug trade is not only drugs, but also medication. from dawn to dusk, and then descended into the underworld. As it navigated through the darkness of night, it was attacked by Apep, who sought to kill Ra and prevent sunrise. Now, I have a theory that this boat is actually representing the solar bark. Let me explain.
As you mentioned, that countdown clock is now officially turned on.
The Dutch cruise ship departed Argentina on April 1st, headed for South Georgia Island. 5 days later, a Dutch passenger developed a respiratory illness. On April 11th, he became the outbreak's first death at sea. The man's wife disembarked on April 24th and flew from St. Helena to Johannesburg, where she died 2 days later. A second male passenger was evacuated on April 27th and flown to Johannesburg. And on May 2nd, a third passenger died on the ship.
Oh, the Netherlands, Argentina. We have a Dutch boat, MV Hondius, departing from Argentina. The end of the world. Now, in crater terms, it is the end of the world. This boat was named after Jodocus Hondius. Jodocus Hondius was a map maker. He bought the copper plates of Mercator, inventor of the Mercator projection. Now, Jodocus was a Flemish guy, and his real name was Joost Dont. Hond is a dog in English. The Hondius was leaving April 1, Fool's Day. The boat was attacked by a virus. The solar bark is attacked by Apophis.
Its journey finally at an end, the MV Hondius was met by Spain's civil guard in the waters off Tenerife.
April 1 to May 10th gives you 40 days. Let's have a look at the dates. April 1, Artemis launch and MV Hondius departure. April 6, Orion behind the moon, first hantavirus symptoms. April 11, Artemis splashdown, first death. From there we have another sequence. April 26th, second death. May 2, third death. Now I can see 3 stories. The red one, the MV Hondius story. It's about the trip of the solar bark in the afterlife. The yellow story, the Artemis 2. Notice the analemma. It's about the resurrection of Osiris. And finally, the green story, the 3 kings. It's about the birth of Horus, the child of Osiris. Finally, we have a closing ritual. Trump announces a 3-day ceasefire, 9, 10 and 11 May. Let's add these dates. Symbol of the ceasefire is the dove with the olive branch, and that is symbolizing the phoenix, the resurrection. Putin and Zelensky were following this ceasefire, so this makes them complicit. They are of course part of this cult. Let's recapitulate. The MV Hondius ritual, symbolizing the 40 days in heaven before you are reborn. The Orion ritual, that is the moment the sperm cell is entering the egg cell, the start of a new consciousness. Finally, we have the Three Kings ritual. This is the moment your body is leaving the mother. Why? Well, this is the million-dollar question. Now, the Three Kings were never in the same room together, but if they were, what would they have been doing? What devious plan were they making? Maybe they were just renewing their vows. One for all for one. Maybe they are expecting a new Messiah on January 6th. Or maybe something far more devious. Now, if this is the plan, we now know who's responsible for it.